Chief Executive Officer of Ford Motor Company holds a prestigious responsibility. Stakeholders in the auto industry enable opportunities to create state-of-the-art vehicles. Ford's Executive Officer drives competition in the domestic and international market. Ford is one of the most respected and trusted vehicle brands in the nation. The corporation produces top-selling vehicles within this nation. The General Motors and other brands rival the corporation's luxury, economical, and popular vehicles. General Motors is a direct competitor in the domestic economy. GMC challenges Ford's status as a J.D. Power award-winning company. Ford received recognition in consecutive years for producing quality mid-sized cars. Despite the threats of competition, Ford received recognition for producing the best-selling vehicles for more than 40 years. The fourth edition of Toyota's recreational active vehicles was the most purchased automobile in 2024. The Toyota RAV4 was the most popular vehicle in 2024. Before sustaining popularity, Ford produced the first line of F-150 vehicles in 1975. Between 1975 and 2024, the F-150 was one of the best-selling vehicles in the United States. Ford implemented strategies to remain relevant within the 50 years. A specific strategy was a sustainable development agenda introduced in 2006. One Ford was a business model established in 2006. Ford's former CEO created a notable moment during the 2008 economic decline. One Ford was a lean management strategy. Ford's business model during the Industrial Revolution and One Ford are significantly different. The CEO integrated Kaizen principles into the organization's culture and branded the term One Ford. The CEO implemented the lean strategy to retain consumer demands and improve product placement. The lean management model was an implication of brand awareness. Ford avoided bankruptcy during the economic decline, and One Ford was the reason the corporation achieved the milestone. When comparing Ford and General Motors' market activities in 2008, Ford achieved greater global success. Ford's market value dropped in 2008, but the corporation succeeded at producing popular brands. People ranked Ford's F-Series and economy vehicles as the nation's most popular automobiles. Vehicles featured as Ford's Ford model automobiles changed after 2008. Change was necessary for Ford to drive market trends and recapture consumer demands. Ford's strategy for Ford model vehicles shifted within years after the financial crisis and the CEO recognition of threats to the bottom line. F-Series vehicles production was a priority for the CEO. The Ford Focus and the Ford Taurus were award-winning and popular vehicles sold in various nations. Ford stakeholders made a business decision after the financial crisis and chose to reduce economy vehicle production. Specifically, Ford reduced the Ford Taurus, Ford Fiesta, Ford Focus, Ford Fusion line of vehicles. Ford stakeholders modified production and operation strategies years after the 2008 economic decline. In 2018, Ford earned $11 billion more than General Motors. Ford F-150 was popular and integral to Ford's success. F-150 sales accounted for more than 35% of the entity's domestic sales. General Motors was a direct competitor. Ford's market shares was less than 15%. General Motors' market shares was more than 15%. GM also had a better market rating. General Motors succeeded at diversifying sales. For example, General Motors was successful at generating revenue from aftermarket sales in the United States. The Chevrolet Silverado 1500 was a popular vehicle sold in the aftermarket. Ford and General Motors attracted different customers and used different strategies for success. However, the corporations underwent similar challenges during the 2000s. The domestic auto industry improved during consecutive years after the 2008 financial crisis. Ford and General Motors reported a record high in financial gains in 2011. Ford also reported the highest profit margin in 2011. General Motors' highest reportable profit margin took place in 2015. The domestic economy remained volatile, and the volatility impacted the corporation's workers and operations. Between 2008 and 2025, 4 CEOs led Ford Motor Company. 2 CEOs led General Motors during the period. General Motors closed 14 production plants to reduce costs and restructure after the corporation filed Chapter 11 during the 2008 economic decline. Between 2008 and 2025, Ford closed 14 production plants. Ford restructured in 2019 for financial purposes. Wayland provided a report in 2019 for CNBC about Ford's plan. Quote, since starting to lead Ford in 2017, Hackett has executed a number of global cost-saving measures as a part of an $11 billion restructuring plan through the early 2020s, including significant cuts to its workforce and operations in 2019. End of quote. Hackett resigned in 2020 after leading Ford to success and opportunities to improve. General Motors also restructured to reduce debt and costs. Harris commented for CNBC about the organizational change, stating General Motors planned to eliminate more than 5% of the domestic workforce during an effort to reduce spending by more than $5 billion. Resource reclamation benefited Ford. The organization cut costs by repurposing material and waste. Ford, Jose Cuervo, Coca-Cola, and other corporations created a purpose for interface waste.